Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe, Minister of Sport and Community Development, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier General Dexter Francis, Vice Chief of Defense Staff, Captain Don Polo, Commanding Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, Captain Douglas Archer, Commanding Officer of the Defense Force Reserves, Councillor Stephen Watley, Councillor for the area of Mausica Maloney, Mrs. Beverly Samuel, Reed Samuel, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICOT, Mr. Mika Charles Phillips, CEO of UDICOT, Management and staff of UDICOT, Pastor Michael Phillip of the Maloney Seventh-day Adventist Church, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am deeply honored and thank you for the privilege of being able to welcome my Prime Minister and yours, Dr. Keith Rowley, my Minister of Sport and Community Development, and yours, the Honorable Shamfa Cudjoe, to the country's greatest constituency, the constituency of Aruka Maloney. If it sounds as though I am a little overcome, please understand that I am overcome with emotion today at what is for me one of my proudest moments as a Member of Parliament for this constituency, which I have the honor of serving. The pride I feel now is born out of the knowledge that representation that was made for this community more than 25 years ago has finally borne fruit. Esteemed and beloved Prime Minister, I thank you for your vision of how you view the importance of these community pools, how you want them to operate, and the impact you expect them to have on these communities. We respect you for your vision of a new society and join with you, as always, in ensuring, as you always tell us, that we have boundless faith in our destiny. I recall, ladies and gentlemen, that during my first time as a Member of Parliament for Aruka South, which included Maloney Gardens, we were then in opposition, and I approached the then Minister of Sport, Pamela Nicholson, for the construction of a swimming pool right here in Maloney. Sister Pam refused outright to even entertain the idea because, according to her, the constituency already had a swimming pool. This swimming pool was in La Hoqueta. Like so many others who felt deeply disappointed, like Mr. Ansel Beach, like Mr. Christopher Jackson, Mrs. Suan Hinkson, Mrs. Linda Briggs, who were young adults at the time and are here with us today, and Mr. David Roberts and Akello Charles, who were children at the time and are here with us today, we felt as though it was a palpable slight and a clear denial of an opportunity. Yes, I was happy for La Hoqueta, which was part of the Aruka South constituency, but sad for Maloney, which was just as deserving. Thankfully and gratefully today, Maloney can boast of having its own 25-meter swimming pool, built during an economically challenging pandemic, but the PNM government continues to put people before politics. 25 years ago, we spoke our ambition into the universe, planting seeds of hope in the minds of all residents. And today, we will sit in the shadow of the tree built from those seeds. As you and I know, ladies and gentlemen, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. As I indicated when I turned the sod to commence construction of this facility in June 2020, Maloney has produced national swimmer Akil Joseph, who regrettably is unable to be present with us today, but his father is here. I have no doubt that when Akil returns home for the holidays from the University of Indianapolis, he will use this as his training ground as he prepares for the Paris Olympics in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, be assured that this swimming pool is not just for Akil and persons of his swimming caliber. The investment in this pool is for the benefit of all of Maloney, young and old, who want to learn to swim, fit and not so fit, who want to pay closer attention to their health. While I am aware that we are still in the throes of a pandemic and we are still feeling our way back to a return to normal, I would encourage all with the appropriate protocols to make proper use of this facility. Maloney is one of the communities that already has an indoor sporting complex. We have our netball court, we have several football fields, and we also have numerous areas within the buildings for where we have exercise equipment. The aggregation of this infrastructure, therefore, lends itself to the potential of Maloney and Arouca Maloney becoming one of the healthiest constituencies. And with at least one golf course in the constituency, right here in Trin City, I am certain that with the right coaching, Arouca Maloney will produce golfers who might be able to achieve a better handicap than our esteemed Prime Minister. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, while the physical and health benefits of swimming and aqua aerobics are often talked about, many people overlook the numerous social benefits and opportunities that swimming can bring to participants. And so, as we witness this commissioning of this community pool today, I say thank you again to my colleague, the Minister of Sport and Community Development, and thank you to the Prime Minister for his vision. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you kindly for the courtesy of your attention, and may God continue to bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Robinson-Regis. Kindly welcome to the podium Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel.
Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The Honorable Camille Robinson-Regis, Minister of Planning and Development and Member for Parliament for Arouca Maloney. The Honorable Shamfa Kajol, Minister of Sports and Community Development. Brigadier General Dexter Francis, Vice Chief of Defense Staff. Captain Don Polo, Commanding Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Captain Douglas Archer, Commanding Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force Reserves. Mr. Stephen Watley, Counselor for Maloney. Mrs. Beverly Reed Samuel, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sports and Community Development. Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICOT. Ms. Tamika Charles Phillips, CEO of UDICOT. Management and staff of UDICOT. Pastor Michael Phillip of the Maloney Seventh-day Adventist Church. Members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Allow me to take this opportunity to acknowledge the excellent work done in the construction of this world-class facility here in Maloney. To all the stakeholders involved in this project, a job well done. The Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force remains committed to its responsibility to contribute to community and national development. Your defense force, throughout its history, has always placed a high value on the building of partnerships and relationships in communities across our country. Through this new community swimming pool initiative here in Maloney, your defense force will play a critical role in the management and success of the programs to be delivered as we are doing in the Sovereign Trace, Laventil, and Mover community pools. The dedicated members of the defense force continue to ensure that citizens visiting the facilities, both young and not so young, are provided with quality training programs, mentorship, and discipline in an atmosphere of gaiety conducive to learning. This new facility here at Maloney provides another opportunity for the Defense Force to support the development of the citizens in this community. Defense Force personnel will be assigned to manage and coordinate programs to ensure success. The dedication and support of the Defense Force to the Community Swimming Pools Initiative will not waver in order to maintain the success of the initiative. Consequently, the necessary force recruitment will be pursued for the sustainment of this current and all other emerging duties that we are called upon to provide. One of the recruiting approaches will give consideration to recruit appropriate personnel from the growing number of Defense Force retirees who may possess the required expertise to assist in the development of the programs and the success of this initiative, similar to what has already been a proven track record at the Civilian Conservation Corps program and the military-led academic program. There are many young persons who reside within close proximity to the community pools, who themselves may have an interest in being members of the Defense Force or just want to be part of the team that manages the pool. The Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force recognizes that it will be important to capitalize on that interest to ensure that persons who are passionate about giving service to their country have the opportunity to so do. The Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force has assigned members from all our regular formations, namely the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, the Coast Guard, the Air Guard, and its Defense Force Reserves to be part of this initiative. Each formation possesses skills and expertise that would ensure that all program participants at the pools can achieve their desired personal goals and objectives. The Community Pool Initiative is geared towards community and national development, which can ultimately lead to a safer and more secure Trinidad and Tobago. The Defense Force is earnestly committed to the success of this new swimming pool facility in Maloney and look forward to working closely with the various stakeholders in this outstanding and promising project. I thank you for the courtesy of your attention.
Thank you, Marshal Daniel. And now to give us the overarching vista of sporting activity for this facility and beyond, I now invite to the podium the Honorable Shamfa Kajo, Minister of Sport and Community Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A hearty good afternoon to one and all. I wish to recognize the Honorable Keith Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Camille Robinson-Regis, Minister of Planning and Development, and the Member of Parliament for Aruka Maloney. Air Vice Marshal Daryl Daniel, Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier General Dexter Francis, Vice Chief of Defense Staff, Captain Don Polo, Commanding Officer of Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, Captain Douglas Archer, Commanding Officer of Defense Force Reserves, Mr. Stephen Watley, Counselor for Morsika Maloney, Mrs. Beverly Reed Samuel, or Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICUT, Ms. Tamika Charles Phillip, CEO of UDICUT, the management and staff of UDICUT, Pastor Michael Phillip of the Maloney Seventh-day Adventist Church, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, a hearty good afternoon. I must say I'm very excited to be here to share this milestone with the people of Aruka Maloney. Should I say the people of Maloney? Maloney, it is your turn. This pool has finally been delivered, and I'm really excited to celebrate here with you this afternoon. I want to first and foremost thank the Prime Minister for his vision and for ensuring that we continue to make this type of investment from community to community throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Our sporting policy as early as 1974, the government had made a commitment to building swimming pools in communities, not necessarily to take swimmers to the Olympic, but to utilize that sport to develop discipline in the young people in the community, to keep them productive, to keep them active. And I am pleased to see that today, 2022, today we are celebrating our 9th public swimming pool. Our 9th public swimming pool. Neighboring nations cannot boast of the same, but Trinidad and Tobago continue to make that type of investment in developing sport, in advancing our sport agenda from community to community. I want to salute Member of Parliament for Aruka Maloney for her persistence as it relates to getting this job done. I want to salute my dear sister in service, Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis. We as government continue to make these projects, especially in communities, a priority. Even against the backdrop of trying economic times, we continue to invest in sport. This morning, I had the pleasure of distributing over $760,000 to athletes here in Trinidad and Tobago and sport-serving bodies towards the development of their skills, the advancement of the sporting agenda. And that, I reminded them, is done on the taxpayers' dollars. 100% investment by the government and the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And I had the pleasure a couple weeks ago of hosting a Sport for Development conference with other ministers from throughout the region. And much of the investment that we enjoy in Trinidad and Tobago in sport, on the taxpayer dollar, government putting the money to the people. Many of the other countries in the region don't enjoy that. Olivia Babsy Grange, she was boasting our sporting program, that the sporting program in Jamaica, the support that they give to their athletes, primarily funded by private sector. And she boasted that over 200 companies come out year after year and invest their money in sports, in the athletes. And in Trinidad and Tobago, though there is some support from private sector, the bulk of the, I don't want to say the burden, but the bulk of the investment is carried by the taxpayer. And this type of investment is made priority by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say the investment in sport is beyond giving monies to the athletes and making sure finances get to the hands of the sporting bodies. We have been investing in facility, million dollar facilities, hundreds of millions, even billions over the years. And it's not just a national stadium, but we ensure that the people in the community get to feel the investment, get to benefit from the investment. We speak about Tudds Road and the recreational ground upgrade that we are doing there right now. in Aranguez, the pavilion, and the upgrades that we have done there. What we are doing with the Brian Lara facility in Bukmalatres. What we have done at Brian Lara Stadium. We just completed hosting cricket under 19, the World Championships. Cricketers from around the world made their way to Trinidad and Tobago, and we successfully hosted under 19 World Championship, not only at the Brian Lara Academy in Taruba, but we found our way in the community of Diego Martin at a world-class facility. And I must say that the people from the ICC and from Cricket West Indies, they were very pleased at the quality of our facilities. Yes, refurbishment can be done in many areas, but we continue to move from community to community, constituency to constituency, every crease and crevice, ensuring that you feel that investment. We are doing our part as government, and we call on you to do your part too, because we call for football fields, we call for facilities, and we want you to take care of these facilities, plan programs to put these facilities to use. Here we are celebrating our 9th pool, public pool in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinidad, because in Tobago we have public pools too, you know, I had to say that. But we have the Learn to Swim program where schools in the communities take advantage of the opportunity to have access, where they don't have to pay. And the ministry is running programs, but most of our help come from the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. So I want to salute the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force for the outstanding work that you have been doing at Sovereign Trace, Laventille, what you're doing in Mova, and what you are going to do in Maloney. May we continue to utilize sport as a tool for development. It's not only about attaining medals. Of course we want to medal. We want to be the best in our community, we want to be the best in our country, we want to be the best internationally. But the development of sport and development through sport speaks more to utilizing sport to develop our people professionally, personally, to unite communities, to keep young people out of the street and help them to develop their skills towards becoming better citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So today, I feel very proud to stand with you, to celebrate with you, and to offer my commitment as a part of this government that we are going to continue to invest in you. As we say in Tobago, this ain't no seke pool. This is a world-class facility. I'm talking about 6 lanes, 80 by 40 feet of swimming pool space. You have your pump room, you have your changing room, you have your administrative office, you have your concession area, offering to the people of Maloney what other communities would like to see. Maloney, you are the envy of many communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago and throughout the region. I want you to take advantage of this opportunity, plan programs, send out the young people to be a part of what is taking place here, plan activity, generate economic activity. We are doing our part as government, and we are calling on you to do your part too. So as we have reopened and welcome Trinidad and Tobago to return to play safely, I pray and hope the same for Aruka, Maloney, and I hope that you take care of this facility and utilize it to the best of your ability. We continue to do our part, and we call on you to do the same too. So I thank all the stakeholders, especially UDICOT, for the remarkable work that you have been doing, and the remarkable work that you continue to do in delivering on time, in delivering at a quality that makes the Ministry of Sport very proud, and the people of the communities very proud. So, with boundless faith in our destiny, I look forward to all that will come from this swimming pool facility. May God bless you. May God bless our nation. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Kojo. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Stacey Sam for our entertainment feature today. She's going to sing the song, The Goodness of God.
your mercy never fails me. All my days have been held in your hands. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. 'Cause all my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. I love your voice. You have led me through the fire in darkest nights. You are close like no other. I've known you as a father. I've known you as a friend. For I have lived in the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. Yes. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Your goodness is running after me, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. Your goodness is running after me, oh Lord. Your goodness is running after me. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after me. All my life you have been faithful, yes. And all my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. Thank you, Lord. All my life you have been so, so good. With every breath that I am able, I will sing of the goodness of God. Yes, I will sing of the goodness of God. Oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Thank you, Ms. Sam, for that stirring performance. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly welcome to the lectern the Honorable Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, to deliver the feature address.
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremonies. Permit me, citizens gathered here and those of you who are following us at home or wherever you are on the various platforms, to acknowledge my cabinet colleagues, the Honorable Camille Robinson-Regis, Minister of Planning and Development, who also represents the community of Maloney and the wider Arouca-Maloney constituency. Unable to be here with us at the moment is the Minister of National Security, Minister Fitzgerald Hines, who is off on another assignment at this time. Present with us today is our energetic and inspiring Minister of Sport and Community Development, Ms. Shamfa Kojo, Minister Shamfa Kojo. But most especially at this time, I want to acknowledge our uniformed officers, leaders, who are here with us this afternoon. Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier General Dexter Francis, Vice Chief of Defense Staff, Captain Don Polo, Commanding Officer of the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, Captain Douglas Archer, Commanding Officer of our Defense Force Reserves. And I'd also like to acknowledge our local government representative, Mr. Steve Watley, Councillor for Maloney, Mrs. Beverly Reed Samuel, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Sport and Community Development, the Chairman of UDICOT, government agency that reports to the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Noel Garcia, Chairman of UDICOT, Ms. Tamika Charles Phillips, the CEO of UDICOT, the management and staff of UDICOT, Pastor Michael Phillips, who gave us the words of invocation this evening from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen all. Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in the job that I do that I feel elated that I've been here, that I'm involved, and that I had something to do with it. And these moments of commissioning these community facilities are such moments of extreme pleasure on behalf of all the taxpayers of Trinidad and Tobago, coming into this environment, into this community, and leaving them with these facilities, which I understand have been their dream for the longest while. If you know how members of parliament representing districts bombard the office of Prime Minister, believing that I have some special influence with, as Stalin says, Mr. Divider, to ensure that when the division is taking place, that they get their share of the cake. But sometimes the cake is so small that the slices are so thin that you see through them. But if you manage to have a piece on your plate, I ask you to be grateful when it occurs. There are a lot of things we want to do in this country that we have wanted to do, that we are wanting to do in districts from Tobago to Cedros, from central to the east. Every community has demands. And you know, as fast as you solve one demand, new ones crop up. And it's not uncommon for people to end up saying nothing has been done when certain things have not been. But by and large, we should be able to say across the country that our program of meeting the needs of our nationals, our programs are on the way. And if we haven't reached you yet, we will reach you eventually, because it is our desire to ensure that all these needs are met. But it takes time. Maloney, today is your day. Not too long ago, in a similar environment, in a similar situation, I joined the people of Morvan who got their swimming pool, and earlier on we were with the people of Laventil. So we are getting it done in the context of great difficulty. But I also always try to remind those who listen to me that my father always taught us that it's not only about what you earn, but it's always about what you do with it. And in this period of great difficulty and financial stringency, it is the time when we are still being able to do certain very important things in communities that have been in the line waiting to have their needs met. Recently, we have opened some very fine schools in some districts, in the urban areas, in the rural areas, simply demonstrating that our aspirations are still there and the delivery program is still going on. We have been in situations before that were financially stronger, but certain priorities had prevailed and certain importance were identified. But as fast as we solve the problems, we justify our existence and understand that we are all our brother's keepers. What is particularly pleasing to me in this program of bringing these community pools into being and commissioning them, particularly in a period of great difficulty, as we are doing now, that difficulty being not just difficulty with funding the facilities, but the difficulty in meeting and using and caring for the facilities. What is particularly pleasing to me is the way that the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, particularly the Coast Guard, has accepted the responsibility of having this community outreach program being part of theirs, and to have taken on board the invitation to come into communities and work with and work for the young people in particular, and all those persons for whom these facilities open new opportunities, whether it be for sport or for health, and also as community development in the best traditions in our country. I am particularly pleased about that. I simply want to appeal to parents of young people who will come here to begin the appropriate guidance at home and not just leave it up to the officers. Let it be that when the young people come here, they come with an admonition from their parents and guardians that you surrender yourself to the guidance that will be provided to you by the officers who will seek to train you and monitor you here and be mentors to you and build a career in your personal development. I also want to say to the officers that you are providing an extra over and above what you have been hired to do at the beginning of your career. This involvement in community development we see as extra service from our uniformed officers. We know that you are influencing minds and changing people and directing some young persons from the paths of difficulty and destruction onto a path where they may become national leaders and world beaters in the water sports that they take part in here. With respect to being able to swim and one day being able to save a life, the very life of those who learn here, might never make the news, might not even be noticed, but the fact that they did learn to swim here might have saved their life on a day out in Paria or a day at Maracas Beach. The value of what you're doing here is immeasurable and immense, and we thank you. But it's a time of sadness as well, because we, associated with our Defense Force, our Coast Guard, we today have taken the responsibility of protecting our nation. That protection comes in a variety of ways, but is required every minute of every passing day. I want to say to you, don't give up. We cannot give up, and we cannot be distracted. Over the years, I have had the opportunity of working with our Coast Guard personnel in Montserrat, in Dominica, in St. Vincent. And on every occasion, I have been particularly proud of how our officers in the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard carry themselves, carry this flag, and carry the people of Trinidad and Tobago outside our borders. It is common knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, that in Trinidad and Tobago, we are under constant penetration by persons from other countries who see Trinidad and Tobago as a better opportunity. That might surprise some people in Trinidad and Tobago who spend all their waking moments trying to convince the majority of people in this country that this life in this country is hell on earth. But ladies and gentlemen, whatever it is, we protect it, we guard it, and we appreciate it. There is traffic on our borders, especially our southern coast and our eastern coast, going to and from Trinidad and Tobago. A lot of that traffic comes from persons who do not observe the laws of Trinidad and Tobago and take it upon themselves to enter in an illegal way. And I dare say there are many citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who do the same thing towards Venezuela. So there's traffic going north and south, east and west from Trinidad and Tobago into and out of us. And how we manage that, our officers here in Trinidad and Tobago are required to prevent those persons who are coming to us illegally from Venezuela. And by the same token, the Guardia Nacional have the same responsibility in Venezuela in treating with our citizens who go across to Venezuela. And that is why when recently the news came that there was a killing of a baby on board a vessel during operations of our Coast Guard patrolling our border, I asked that our Coast Guard leadership communicate with the Venezuelan leadership of their Coast Guard, and as professionals handling this assignment for Trinidad and Tobago and for Venezuela, let them determine among themselves whether our protocols are being followed, and let us be closer in our relationship in protecting and patrolling our borders for the people of Trinidad and Tobago and for the people of Venezuela. That is the position of the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 grandsons, and I know what it is for that family who would have to take on board the fact that one of their own, a baby, being killed in patrol action of the Defense Force of Trinidad and Tobago. It's the same feeling I had when a friend of mine had his toddler killed in a moving gate at home, trapped in an electric gate, squeezing that child to death. I know about that. Every time I think about it, I feel that. I remember a family I know who drove over a child when the father reversed out of the yard, not knowing that the child was there. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know which officer pulled the trigger, but I know that officer would feel the pain of knowing that the result of that action, that legal action, that appropriate action in defending Trinidad and Tobago resulted in the killing of that child. And to be called a murderer, I reject it, I reject it, and I reject it. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the challenges of holding office and having authority. The Coast Guard of Trinidad and Tobago, they hold office they handle equipment, and they have the responsibility of protecting the integrity of the state of Trinidad and Tobago. But if along the way, incidents like this occur, I trust that we as a people will be able to deal with it without increasing the pain that we all would feel. And as we extend our sympathy to those who have been directly affected by the tragedy, we also have to confirm that our borders will remain protected, because it is along those borders that the arms and ammunition, the women and the drugs come into the society of Trinidad and Tobago. We cannot let up on that assignment. And the job of protecting us from these situations lie and will continue to lie with the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. The same people who are here in these pools, away from the water, but changing lives and influencing people within the wider society of Trinidad and Tobago. I am particularly proud of the young ladies and gentlemen who are of the Coast Guard and who take time out to come and work with others in this community. I appeal to you to continue to do so, because there's so much more good than the moments of evil that attend us every so often. In your absence, we're not sure what's going to happen here. But in your presence, we have every confidence that only good can come out of the investment that we are making here today. We are confident that the oaths of office that you have taken will see us through, and that your own decency, impressed by the uniforms that you wear and the conversations you have among yourself, holding each other to the highest standards of your profession, will allow you to make the people of Trinidad and Tobago proud on the water and on land. We are proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we at the level of the cabinet will continue to find the resources to improve our communities, and as we produce athletes who want to compete at the local level, at the international level, as difficult as it is, we will find the resources to continue to allow our talent to flourish, whether it's on the football field, on the cricket field, in the swimming pool, or wherever else they are. We commit to give our young people that opportunity, even in a pandemic, as we did before, and we will do after, because the pandemic is not going to last forever. At the moment, we are feeling a little bit better, that the difficulty we're having with COVID-19 appears as though the latest variant is not as dangerous and virulent as we thought it was. In December, we thought we were going to be in a horrible position here with a variant that was far more transmissible than the one before, but equally deadly. It is apparent that it may not be so. Let us keep our fingers crossed and keep our prayers going up, that hopefully in the not too distant future, we can come here in as large a numbers as we can, and we will not be restrained and restricted by the rigors and the dangers of the pandemic. Let us look forward to those days when there will be competition between the administrations of this pool, who would have produced teams of people, young and old, to participate in water sports. Let us look forward to the day when there are young people in this district, and those who will come and join them, who will reach the standard of international competition, and who will wear the red, white, and black, not only here in this pool, but outside of Trinidad and Tobago, all the way to the Olympic podium. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know where the child is today. We don't know where that boy is today. We don't know where that girl is today. We don't know where that parent is today who is nursing a child who is born today, who may use this pool as the launching pad to make Trinidad and Tobago the proudest nation in international sport. What we do know is there are very many people for whom this water in this pool would be the encouragement for them to lead a healthier lifestyle. And that's what it's all about, an improvement in the quality of life of all our people. And let it be said that our uniformed officers are contributing to the improvement of the quality of life in the homes of the elderly who come here and do their water calisthenics of one time or another, or the young person who learned to swim in this pool and realize that they have a talent that they would never have known before they stepped into this pool. We are a people with very high standards because others have set those standards for us and have shown us that it's possible for us to compete alongside anybody in the world. We had the names like Wendell Motley, Hazley Crawford, Brian Lara, and Dwight York reaching the highest standard of the vocation that they've chosen in sport. And we know we can continue to do that. UDCOT in the Office of the Prime Minister will continue to provide them project management. And I've seen the name of the contractor here. I never knew we had a contractor. What's it called? C2K, something like that. But we had a contractor here, a small contractor, who would have done quite a fine job. And we have a facility of which we can all be proud. So many things have gone right with this project that notwithstanding the pain we feel about the Moments issue, let us congratulate all those who took part, from the Ministry of Sport, from the MP's office, from the Defense Force personnel who organize those who will handle those who will come here now, from the Minister of Sports office, from the contractor's office. They are all involved, working together, and the end product is something that we are all proud of. And I will not leave this podium without challenging the MP, since she decided to bring my golf into Maloney. I'm going to challenge the MP that if you put on your bath suit, I'll chase you in the pool today. Right? You see, because everybody knows how to tell you what you could do. But what about what you are going to do? We are all in this, and I'm very happy to be identified as a golfer. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we had our Prime Minister tournament in Tobago, which has raised, I think, $400,000, which have gone to all kinds of charities around. And if that is what's going to happen, then let it happen. But I'm really anxiously looking forward to coming here some afternoon, or whatever time, to sit in the shade here and watch competition in this pool where our young people are striving to be the best that they could be. I know that they're in the hands of people that are good people who will instill in them the benefits of discipline and integrity. And those people are our Coast Guard and our Defense Force of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you for your involvement. Thank you for your service. And thank you for having confidence in the community of Maloney, in the constituency of Arouca Maloney. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Now, Mr. Stephen Watley, Councillor for the Moussaka Maloney area, will now deliver a vote of thanks.
A vision of a Prime Minister, the advocacy of a Member of Parliament. What again can we ask for? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an absolute privilege as Councillor for the Electoral District of Moussaka Maloney to be at this momentous ceremony today and to bring the vote of thanks. So on behalf of a grateful community, I would like to start by thanking Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, for your vision and leadership and for your feature remarks today. Our hard-working Member of Parliament for Arouca Maloney, the Honorable Camille Robinson-Regis, yes, for your dedicated service to our community. To Minister Shamfa Kajo for your remarks and the great work of your ministry. To the MP's office and staff who would have worked tirelessly to ensure that everything was in place here as well as UDCUT and the other officials. To the chairman and my fellow councillors who are here from the Tunapuna Piarco Regional Corporation, thank you for your presence. To the dedicated officers of the Coast Guard, Police Service, and Defense Force. To the efficient chairman and CEO, staff of UDCUT in ensuring that the delivery of this remarkable facility. Pastor Michael Phillip of the Seventh-day Adventist Church for your opening prayer. To the contractor and all other persons who were responsible for making today's ceremony a reality. To our entertainers, the welcoming personnel, as you will have all seen, and what a remarkable entrance that they created. So we thank you. To all our distinguished guests and members of this community, the media, a very heartful thank you to you all. And I thank you for the kindness of your attention, and I wish you God's richest blessings as we move into the remainder of today's proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Watley. This part of the ceremony brings us to the cutting of the ribbon, after which the Prime Minister and his entourage will proceed to the area for the unveiling of the commemorative plaque. And this activity will be accompanied by some music, and our flautist is Mr. Gomer Daniel.
This is TTT.